Gary, round 15 against Werribee, and fair to say a terrific exhibition of footy from a neutral point of view, but unfortunately for us, it was our third successive week of being so close yet so far. 4 points was the final margin that we were in arrears after we at one stage led by 29 points in the third term. I can only assume that you're overall still pretty disappointed 24 hours later.
Oh, you always are, Sam, as you know, when you don't get the 4 points, and especially too when you think about the last 3 weeks, as you said, it's been 8 points, 3 points and 4 points. So we addressed some areas which we were better at it, and there's no doubt about that. We scored over 100 points for the first time in probably close to a month. So our team offence, I think, certainly improved, but where we let ourselves down was really the team defence, I think, aspect of the game. That total score is probably almost a collective score that we've been able to defend the last couple of weeks. So they were extremely accurate, and they were very good at actually either we turned the ball over ourselves or they turned the ball over and then getting in a position to score. So I just had a little bit of that uneasy feeling because they were very accurate in scoring goals, and I thought, geez, if they get a little bit of supply here, it's going to be a tough ask, and it certainly ended up being that way. But Goldstein, too good as a ruckman, and gives their midfielders that sort of, I guess, confidence to spread and surge, and their ball movement was really quick.
We mentioned last week about the fact that we were having some issues kicking high scores in the previous couple of weeks, which we obviously addressed really well by kicking over 100 yesterday with some good output from Jordan Lyle, which was good to see as well. But unfortunately, it was just the damage done by Werribee going the other way, which proved our downfall, as well as their deadly accurate kicking, as you said, which is just a credit to them, I guess.
Oh, most definitely, and of course I caught up with both Gavin Brown and John Lamont after the game, and they said that they didn't sort of see that quick change in the game, but as I said just before, I was always a little bit concerned that they were doing it relatively easy, and once you sort of kick accurately, it does keep you just within arm's length. Okay, we miss a goal, probably could have put us over 30 points in front. Then we unfortunately do a silly thing and a 50-metre penalty. They go in, kick a goal, comes back to the centre bounce. We have another opportunity, blow that. And of course, then once that happened, then they started getting momentum. And I think our defenders unfortunately didn't adjust enough. But when it was being slingshotted out of our forward line and through the midfield, our spread was average, and unfortunately we looked even probably slower than maybe what we are as a group when they're able to cut a path with their 45s, and yeah, they got their tails up. But having said all that, we got back in front, and we, I guess, addressed a couple of things, and with what, about 4 or 5 minutes to go, we're still 8 points in front, but we couldn't again control the game the way we wanted it to be done. I think we just made some errors in our ability to go fast or slow. We tended to be the other way, go slow, and we really had to just keep the pressure on. So yeah, it's a failure in that regard, and certainly now we're putting a lot more pressure on ourselves to stay where we need to, but this week becomes super important now against North Ballarat.
And a few things to consider now that we come up against the Roosters this Saturday. A rare 6-day break, so I suppose the first question is, what will the week look like from a training and preparation point of view? I understand the boys are off to MSAC tonight.
Yeah, recovery tonight, so we'll just go through the debrief and have a bit of an educative process, I guess, going forward, because as I said, we've got a 6-day turnaround. So recovery, light tonight, debrief, then we'll obviously hit the track on Wednesday and Thursday, and then yeah, off to Ballarat on Saturday.
And the second part of that point is, at this early stage, can we expect to see some changes to the lineup with the Development League continuing their outstanding form, and also some of our more senior boys perhaps pulling up a tad sore from what was a gruelling game yesterday?
Yeah, it's a big deck, fast deck out there, very dry, so certainly there'll be some changes, and you've certainly got to take your hat off to what the development team's been able to do. You know, that was a really clinical win, I thought, yesterday, extremely professional, and obviously there were some guys that had been playing really well, continued their form. We obviously got Khan Heratuku again, which is super important on the run home. Chris Carey improved his performance. Michael Wen had another pretty solid game. We dominated in the ruck generally, and Golby, Urban, Hayes, Knowles, Valla, Hooper, even young Sammy de Soysa, he kicked 4 goals. So, you know, there's a little bit to turn to, and who knows what can happen in the next 72 hours.
Well, Gary, thanks for your time. Disappointing to lose in that fashion yesterday, but as always, I'm sure you and the boys will get back on the horse and try and get back on the winners list on Saturday at Ballarat. Best of luck.
Yeah, we've got the saddle and the spurs ready, mate.